So I hope it is audible and visible to all. Respond. Okay, fine. So now we'll move on to the next topic. In module module 5 is CMOS. We have started with the background and then the evolution of ICs. In today's class, we are going to start with CMOS process integration. And here, we are going to discuss what is CMOS, how it can be implemented using two MOS transistors, okay? And then we will discuss the schematic and the fabrication of CMOS process integration. So now, we'll move on to that topic. So this is CMOS integration process, okay? It's very simple topic. Okay, so this is CMOS integration process. In that, we are going to discuss two topics. One is CMOS as a inverter. The second is fabrication of CMOS using twin well self-aligned silicide process. So these are the two topics which we are going to discuss about CMOS as a process integration. So now we will start with the first one, that is CMOS as an inverter. So now how it works and what are the components which are used in this topic. So first thing, I will start with the CMOS as an inverter. So first, what is CMOS? CMOS is nothing but it is a complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So CMOS is a technology which is used just to reduce the size of the transistor, okay, and also increase the speed. So CMOS is now widely used in many industries to manufacture different integrated circuits. So now in this topic we are going to discuss how CMOS can be used as an inverter, and I hope you guys know about inverter. So inverter is nothing but so here in the inverter, if I give input as 0, we will get the output as 1. If I give the input as 1, I will get the output as 0. So it will just invert the given input to the output side. So here what it consists in the circuit diagram. So in this circuit diagram, it consists of PMOS transistor. So this is a PMOS transistor and this is a NMOS transistor. So it contains two MOS transistors, and we also call them a complementary pair of MOS transistors, where PMOS only used to pass a logic 1 with a strong logic 1, whereas NMOS is used to pass the strong logic 0. So that is the two importance of these MOS transistors. And remember, PMOS is on only when the input of the PMOS is logic 0, whereas NMOS will be on when the input of this NMOS is logic 1. So you guys need to understand it properly. So when I come to the PMOS, so PMOS has three terminals, that is gate, drain and source, where gate is used as the input, source is used for the power supply, and the drain is used for the next connection. Either it can be connected to the output or for the input of the next transistor. So similarly, NMOS has also three terminals, gate, drain and source. So in that, gate is used as the input, drain is used to connect the next transistor or to the output, and the source is used to connect to the supply. So here the supply is VSS, that is ground here. So now, what is the importance of PMOS? So PMOS has three terminals: gate, drain and source. So here the gate is used as the input, the drain is used as the output, the source is connected to the supply. And the importance of PMOS is, so it will allow us to transmit a strong logic 1 from source to the drain. So this is source to the drain. It allows logic 1 to the output side, where VDD here is logic 1. In analog we call it as plus 5 volts. So it allows logic 1 from source to drain only when the gate terminal gets logic 0. Nothing but when the input Vin is 0, here the PMOS will be on, it is turned on. At that time, whatever the supply is connected for the source terminal, that will flows towards the drain. Here drain is connected to the output side. So we got Vout as VDD, where VDD is nothing but logic 1 here. Similarly, so when I consider the NMOS transistor, so for NMOS, again it has three terminals, that is gate, drain and source, where gate is the input, source is used to connect the supply. Here the supply is ground and drain is connected to the output. So when for the NMOS, the specialty of NMOS is it only allows a strong logic 0, that is 0 here. So it will be on when the input Vin is equals to logic 1. So only at that time when the gate of NMOS gets logic 1 at the input, it will be on. When it is on, so whatever the potential at Vout, so initially if I assume that the potential at Vout or the output of Vout is VDD, that VDD flows towards the ground from drain to source using NMOS transistor. When it flows towards the ground through this path, okay, so at that time the output voltage Vout becomes 0. So this is how a CMOS is used as an inverter. So now I will take one example to understand it properly. Okay, so first thing, I hope you guys understood how this CMOS inverter works and what it consists of. Okay, so now I will tell you how it can be utilized as an inverter, the complementary pair of NMOS and PMOS. Now look at this circuit diagram. Here the gate of the two MOS transistors, that is PMOS and NMOS. The gate of the two MOS transistors are connected together to provide the input voltage V, whereas the drain of the two MOS transistors, that is PMOS and NMOS, these are the two drain terminals of PMOS and NMOS, are connected together to give us the output terminal, whereas the source of the PMOS is connected to the supply voltage VDD and the source of the NMOS is connected to the supply VSS. So this is about the connection of the given inverter. So now how it works. So here when I give the input voltage, so what happens to the output and which MOS transistor will be on. So if I give the input voltage Vin equals to 0, so if the input voltage Vin is 0 here, so both the gate terminals of PMOS and the NMOS will get 0. Here also I will get 0, here also I will get 0. But as we know that PMOS transistor will be on for the 0 input and the NMOS transistor will be off for 0 input. So from this I can say that now the PMOS transistor is on because the gate of the PMOS gets 0. Here the bubble indicates that this belongs to PMOS and this belongs to NMOS. These are the two symbols used in the inverter or in the MOS transistors. So therefore, when logic 0 is given to the gate of PMOS, so whatever the supply is connected at the source terminal, that will flows towards the drain and that will be available at the output. So here, when input 0 is given, the source of the PMOS is connected to VDD. Here VDD is nothing but logic 1. So that will flows through the source to drain and we will get the output as 1 here. So this is how a 0 is inverted as 1. Similarly, if I give the input is 1, so if I provide the input like 1, if I give the input 1, both the gate of PMOS will get 1 here. This is also 1, this is also 1. As we know that when the gate of the NMOS is provided with logic 1, then NMOS will be on, PMOS will be off. So therefore, NMOS is on. So when the NMOS is on, now it gets a path from drain to source terminal. So now here we get a path from drain to source. So therefore, whatever the voltage at the output side, that will flows towards the ground, because the source of this terminal is connected to the ground. So therefore, here initially we have the output voltage is logic 1. This logic 1 will flows towards the ground. When it flows towards the ground, then the output voltage becomes 0, because whatever the output here, it will get path towards the ground. The complete voltage will flows from drain to source and the output voltage becomes 0. So therefore, when the input is logic 1, we get the output as logic 0. So I can say that now it is inverted, that is logic 1 is inverted as logic 0. So this is how an inverter is constructed using CMOS, that is PMOS and NMOS, which we call them as complementary pair of MOS transistors, just to act as an inverter. When input is 0, output is 1. When input is 1, output is 0. Depends on PMOS and NMOS connection. So here another thing I can say that this is the waveforms which is used to represent the function of inverter. When Vin, this is the Vin, if it is 0, this is a 0, this is logic 1. When Vin is 0, we get the Vout as 1. When the Vin is 1, we get the Vout as 0, exactly opposite. So here if Vin is 0, we get Vout as 1, Vin is 1, we get Vout as 0. And this is the drain current which flows through the transistor. Okay? Here these we call them as ripples, which are present in the output current at the output side with respect to time. And this drain current, I call it as drain current because it flows through the drain terminal. This is the drain terminal. Here I shown you the drain current. So this drain current flows through the drain terminal towards the output. So that's why I call it as drain current. These are called as ripples, or in some words we call them as glitches. These are occurred due to the delay occurred in the PMOS and NMOS. And this drain current is very, very small compared with the output voltage. So this is about a CMOS as an inverter. Okay? I hope it is clear for everyone. So if you guys understood, so just respond in the chat box as a yes. If you want to repeat a particular part, I will do the same thing. So do it fast. I am expecting everyone. If you want to repeat the topic, I will repeat. Otherwise, if it is clear for everyone, you just put yes. If you want to repeat, just put repeat in the chat box. Everyone, all 50 students should respond in the chat box. If you understood, put it as yes. If you have doubt, put it as repeat. Especially diploma students. I am expecting diploma students to respond. So all 50 students should respond in the chat box if you understood the CMOS as an inverter. Okay, fine. So this is about a CMOS as an inverter, and this is how it is explained. So now the same thing can be implemented using a fabrication. So here in this diagram which I am showing right now is a fabricated part of inverter. So here this is what I shown here. This is nothing but the schematic we call. This is a schematic which uses PMOS and NMOS in terms of symbol and connecting wires. These are called as wires here. These two are the symbols used for PMOS and NMOS. And this is the fabrication process. This is the last step which I have shown here, a fabrication process, so which is used just to represent a CMOS as an inverter. Now look at this fabrication, what it consists of. So here this is nothing but the outer layer which is shown is made up of a P plus substrate. We call it as a substrate or the basic foundation on which these two MOS transistors are constructed. P plus nothing but here this substrate is of type P type material where plus indicates here the hole's concentration is very high. So P plus substrate is nothing but the substrate belongs to P type, that is nothing but the concentration of holes in this substrate is very large. And now after this P type substrate we have a P minus epitaxial layer. So epitaxial layer is used just to prevent the well of P and N here. This is N well and this is P well. P minus nothing but this layer which is only this part. Here this is a less concentrated holes layer with of P type where it is used just to protect P well and N well, okay, from the P plus substrate. And here look at this diagram now. So this diagram, and this is constructed for NMOS. For NMOS we need one P well. In this P well we have majority charge carriers are holes. This is N plus and this is N. These two are the electrons, or the majority charge carriers in these two are electrons, and they are constructed using three terminals. One is source, gate and drain. So this is called as now NMOS, which is shown here. We call it as NMOS, and now this is a PMOS, and in this PMOS we have to choose N well. N well acts as a N substrate where the majority charge carriers are electrons, and here P plus and P, these two are the doped regions in the N well, which are holes or the majority charge carriers. Again it has three terminals: drain, gate and source. So now as per the connection here, so look at this connection. Here the two drain terminals are connected together to form V out. So source of PMOS connected to VDD, source of NMOS is connected to VSS, gate of both PMOS are connected to VN. The same thing will be done for this fabrication. Here the drain of these two are connected together to form Vout. Okay, the gate of two terminals, like this is the gate of NMOS, this is the gate of PMOS, are connected for V in, and the source of NMOS is connected to the ground, and the source of PMOS is connected to the supply voltage VDD, where this SiO2 is used just to separate PMOS and NMOS. Okay, otherwise they may get damaged. So SiO2, this is an silicon dioxide layer, acts as an insulator between NMOS and PMOS, okay, so that they should not get short circuited. So this is how it can be implemented using a fabrication process. I hope it is clear for everyone. So the same thing which I shown in the schematic, the same thing is shown in the fabrication. Okay, so here the only thing is that we have used materials like belongs to the P type and the N type, so to construct this CMOS transistor. Okay, so both PMOS and NMOS are constructed in one silicon chip. Okay, in one silicon chip we are constructed this one, hence we call it also as an integrated circuit, because two MOS transistors, that is PMOS and NMOS, are fabricated together on a single silicon chip. We call it as integrated circuit, which we have discussed in the previous session. Okay, so this is about the fabrication. The same thing is explained here. So this is the explanation which I have explained right now for the PMOS and NMOS, which is used as an inverter. So I hope it is clear for everyone. In the next class, that is on Thursday's class, I am going to start the last topic, that is fabrication of CMOS using a twin well self-aligned process. Okay, so this is again the same thing which I have discussed right now in this topic. So this is a normal procedure which is used for the construction or for the fabrication of CMOS as an inverter, and this is another technology which we call it as twin well self-aligned process. This is also a fabrication process of a CMOS, so little bit different from the normal procedure. So this we will discuss in the next class. So after that we will wind up module 5, fabrication of CMOS using twin well self-aligned process. Okay, so this is this we will discuss in the next class, and while starting the next class I will send the assignment for module 3, module 4 and this module 5. Okay, so I instruct you guys take some time and write the assignment in white sheets itself. Okay, so don't write in the books. Those who have written in the books, you just continue in the books after collecting it from me. Those who have written in the white sheets, so please continue write in the white sheets itself. Okay, so on Thursday's class I am going to complete this fabrication of CMOS using twin well self-aligned process. Okay, so after that I will give you the assignment questions of module 3, 4 and 5. Take 15 days time and write the assignments in the white sheets. Otherwise in any other sheets which you are comfortable. Okay, so I hope it is clear for everyone. So this is about for today's class, that is the CMOS as an
Excuse me,
inverter.
sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes, respond. Annapurna, respond. What happened? So if you won't feel comfort, you
excuse me,
can put
sir.
up.
Sir, what? Sir, what about diploma students? Whether they should also write in sheets, sir?
No, no, no. For diploma students, I will give you separate instruction. Okay. This is only for the regular students, PUC students. What I have said right now is only for PUC students. For diploma students, we will create a separate group. Okay. For based on subject wise. I will create a separate group based on subject wise. First, we will put you the notes, syllabus, and the respective videos for each module. So after that, we will ask you to write the module wise assignment. So that will be done within this week. Okay. This assignment is only given for PUC students. Okay, not for the diploma. Hope it is clear for everyone.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now, so send your USN, otherwise your names as an attendance, so that we can wind up the class. So do it fast. Okay, hope everyone responded in the chat box. So we will wind up the class now, and we will start the next session on Thursday class. Okay, thank you.